Ted Cruz is near. Ted Cruz is never going to be here. If you're here for Ted Cruz, we're sorry. But if you are really a listener, it's so funny. If you just search Ted Cruz in Spotify, like the two podcasts come up right next to each other, and
Right.
and if you don't pay too much attention, they're almost indistinguishable.
I think it's wonderful. I
I
love
think
it.
it's amazing, and I hope that maybe someone came in. They wanted like Ted's insight on NAFTA or taxes, and they just clicked that podcast, then clicked
His
us, and we're like,
insight.
clicked on our podcast, and we're like, you know what? Trans rights forever.
Dude, that dude hasn't had an original thought in his entire life.
Probably not. You're right. I'm
He's
not
just
gonna.
like, he's a
Uh,
human windsock.
he's like, oh, which way's the wind blowing? That's the way old Ted Cruz is blowing.
Phil fills me right up. Fills me right up. That's me.
That's me.
Fart in my mouth. I'm Ted Cruz.
that was his original campaign. You know,
Fill me
the
with your
little
farts.
signs.
That's what I'm here for.
Fart in my
Me,
mouth,
Ted
Ted
Cruz.
Cruz.
I'm Ted Cruz. Fill me with your farts. I'll suck on them. I'll suck your farts.
Ladies, gentlemen, and friends beyond the binary, welcome to Girl Dick with Ted Cruz, starring Lilith Electra Zarling, Amanda Bonanza, and esteemed Republican Senator from the great state of Texas, your host, Ted Theodore Cruz.
Welcome to Girl Dick with Ted Cruz. I'm Lilith Zarling. That's Amanda Bonanza. You're all our beautiful listeners, and we love you. I hope you're all having a great week. What a great way to start your week, listening to us talk
It
about.
is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna reel it in a little bit.
you better not. You
And
better
I'm
not
gonna
be like,
hit.
I gotta go to the bathroom first, and you have to redo that
Well, no, I don't
epic
have to go to
start
the
over again.
bathroom,
Yeah.
but I am gonna make you start over because so by the nature of how I edit this,
Yeah.
there's no way I can use that because there
Okay.
wasn't enough space and we didn't talk about anything I can put in here.
That's not my fault. You decided to talk about fraud.
No, I know, but like it's not your fault, but it is. I'm just saying that that intro is invalid. It's not gonna fly. It don't have the cinnamon toast crunch.
Welcome to Girl Dick with Ted Cruz. I'm Lois Zarling. That's Amanda Bonanza. You're all the beautiful people who listen to our podcast, and I hope you're having an amazing week. And before we get rolling, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pop two Troomies in. We never heard from them. I don't know if they're officially
I
a
forgot about
sponsor.
Trumies.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna take two Troomies. I'm gonna be lit. You're gonna see it in my eyes.
Oh,
If
I
you're watching
remember.
on
I didn't
YouTube,
forget about the results of the
if
Trumies.
you're gonna watch on YouTube, you're gonna be like, "What's up with Lilith's eyes? They look like they're burning holes through the computer screen," and that's exactly what's
That's
happening. So
fucking true. It's a little goddamn scary.
I'm also an old
Um.
woman, so I'm gonna take some Centrum vitamins. Centrum,
Oh,
please
that's yeah.
sponsor our
I already got
podcast.
that
Yeah, yeah,
covered.
yeah.
I took all my vitamins today. I
So
got.
much
Oh,
gummy.
one more thing. One more thing. Okay, that this intro is not going to work either.
You're
And
gonna make
here's
me.
why.
I just ate the Truvy though.
And here's why it's not going to work is because we still didn't like give me any room. We didn't talk about anything
I'm counting
before
it
it.
down.
So like I'm going to have to edit this like way out of order. Like that's what the problem is. Like look at this fancy cup I got in my fancy
I did notice that
yard.
you've got a goblet of some sort.
I do. It's a copper goblet. And so there's like I was in Seattle and
Mm-hmm.
there's this awesome restaurant that's a Nepalese place.
Did you steal the goblet?
No, I bought it. I bought
Okay,
it. I paid
okay.
$20 for that copper cup. But like
Oh,
it's a little pricey, but it's fucking worth it. Cause like I've been drinking my water out of that. Like there's a magic to drinking water out of copper. Like it's
yeah,
what you're supposed to do. Like
yeah.
it's like it makes sense. It tastes right. Like it's like, oh, okay, yeah, fuck plastic. Glass is good, but like it's not as good as copper.
You
Like you're
know,
supposed to drink out of copper. I'm
I
drinking, and
drink.
that's what I do now. Look it around. This is how I live my life.
I mean, you
Drink
are.
out
I
of
mean,
copper.
I'm out here in nature, and so I drink everything as nature intended.
Just out of the
out of
stream.
aluminum cans.
Like just like dip your hand in the
Oh,
like you pan for you drink and then you
just
just keep the little gold that's left.
putting your lips to an ice cold stream of water. Yeah, the way the goddesses intended.
With the deer and the
Oh,
butterflies.
the butterflies that just kind of land on my shoulder while I drink. And my cat next to
Rebooted.
me, my cat watching to make sure no predators get me while I'm unaware.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good cat
I have
there.
In the morning when I give him food, I have to stand in the kitchen while he starts to eat. Because if I leave, then he leaves. He's like, I need someone watching my back. Cats have never let go of all that predator shit from before they were domesticated. So
no, they're still predators. Like my roommate's cat like hunts every day. Like he kills multiple creatures a day.
If a bug ever deigns to find itself in our house, that thing is fucked because my cat will not give up on it.
Well, that's good. That's how it should be. I mean, you post signage, you have that no trespassing sign, like for the bugs.
Bug,
it's not your fault. Like it says, it's clearly posted, it's clearly marked. Like if they choose, you enter at your own risk.
You just go in the kitchen and the cat's at the baker's rack like this for 4.5 hours, and there's some bug under there being like, what do I do? What do I do? Cats?
Nothing to do.
Nothing to do but go out and die. Go out and die, bug. That's all you can do. Make a run for it. It's like a horror movie for bugs.
Yeah, too bad for them. Guess who doesn't? Who's never gonna be sad about a bug dying? It's
Ted Cruz.
Me and Ted, that's the one thing we got in common.
I mean, it should be this episode of the podcast, but Ted couldn't make it. Welcome to Girl Talk with Ted Cruz.
Girl Talk.
I fucked it up. I had two perfect intros, and then I fucked up the third one.
Now it's Girl Talk with Ted Cruz.
People don't come here for the talk; they come here for the dick.
There was a board game called Girl Talk, like back in like the 90s.
That sounds like something. There were so many.
I think it was a game, but it was like I feel like it had some sort of tie-in with maybe Saved by the Bell.
There were so many games back then that were just so completely tied to gender roles. It's like Blind Date. It's just a bunch of girls trying to get the blind date with the guy they want.
Yep. Yeah.
With Corey. He's so dreamy.
Everyone. With Branderson.
Did you know Brandon Branderson from Milwaukee?
Everyone knew Brandon Branderson.
Everyone got herpes from Brandon
dreamy in his Letterman's jacket.
Hey, he lettered in debate and chess, so good for him. Welcome to Girl Dick with Ted Cruz. I'm Lois Zarling. That's Amanda Bonanza. Missing again for the 14th, 15th, 20th, 25th week in a row. It's Ted Cruz. He's somewhere doing something. Who cares? Who cares? You're here, and that's what's important. You're here. If you're listening to this,
that one guy cares. Sean cares.
Have you heard back from Sean? Have you heard back from Sean?
I haven't checked the email.
You gotta check the email.
I haven't checked the email.
This guy's probably freaking out.
He's worried about
He's so worried about Ted, and you just left him hanging.
Oh,
you just left him hanging there.
Yeah, I haven't. I really should check the email.
Just let him know.
You could check the email too. Like, it doesn't have to be on me.
I know. I can't find where I wrote down the password, and it logged me out, so I'm kind of stuck.
I'll send you the password later. It's funny.
Yeah. I've got all kinds of like scraps of paper on my desk with passwords and stuff written in there. So
I gotta run by. Okay. Two things. Well, I don't know. It feels unnatural doing it now, but I had like kind of an idea for a bit. I wanted to run it by you and see.
Yeah, let's just do it here live on the podcast.
No, like I have to give credit where credit is due first, because like I feel like in a other episode, I think I unintentionally stole a joke from my brother and me. I know, because we talked about it. You busted me on it.
I remember that.
And like I didn't. Just so you go, world, I didn't do it on purpose. And Griffin, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I stole your joke. But like,
You think Griffin is listening into our podcast for supporting trans people?
If he is, that'd be great because I'm a big fan of his. But if Griffin, I'm sorry if I didn't mean to steal your joke or step on your joke. But I'm sure that I got it from listening to my brother and me because I love their podcast and I do listen to it regularly and so but this one is another one that I heard. So I'm not stealing the joke. What I'm doing is I'm using it as a springboard because they didn't really run with it. And I feel like they could have. But I don't even know what they were talking about. But he came up with the idea of Barack Obama. I just picture a Western Barack Obama, like a 10-gallon hat. Maybe like a rodeo clown.
That's weird because I imagined Barack Obama as a centaur.
See, there you go.
He's like, yeah.
Well, see, but this is good because this is where I'm going with this because I thought about that. So maybe a thing that we could do is we could come up with different kinds of presidential mutations like this, kind of sort of like presidential garbage pail kids. So we've already got Barack Obama, which in your case is a centaur. My case is he's a roper.
Sure, in classic garbage pail kids, it's two per.
There's two different versions. Yeah. It's that. So but I didn't really come up with a lot more because it's kind of hard. And but the only other one I thought of that was kind of good was Lyndon Gaines Johnson. And clearly that's a muscle man.
What about Ronald Reagan? And he's like a ray gun.
That actually is what I thought of.
Okay.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
That writes itself. Not to diminish your.
No, that's okay. I mean, I came up with it just in the moment.
And you went right there. What took you 2 seconds took me like 8 seconds. So you laughed at me 4 times. But 8 seconds is a really long time. That's like the record that Barack Obama had on horseback.
Yeah.
That's a really long time for a rodeo.
But then what's your vision of Ronald Reagan?
Well, I don't have a vision. It's just for the goofballs and the funny bones. My vision for Ronald Reagan?
Yeah, for the card.
I feel like he's in a 50s spacesuit, like a kid, you know what I mean? With maybe the round helmet and the antenna, kind of a Fallout style, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
He's in a 50s retro spacesuit. That was just suitable for him because
I thought mine is like a space gun with Ronald Reagan's head at the top, and there's just a light beam going through the Berlin Wall coming out of his mouth.
Oh, see, you were thinking of that. I was thinking that light beam lowered taxes for the rich.
It can do both.
The light beam that
both.
Cuts through big government.
Just cuts through big government.
It slices right through the gridlock.
Blows up a mental hospital for homeless people. All the important things we want the government to do. Yeah.
Get rid of them. They can't be there. What about John NFT Kennedy?
John,
anything?
I don't know if that's anything.
I feel like maybe it's something. I don't know if this whole segment's anything.
I don't think it is. Do it.
I don't know if it's going anywhere. But then, I did think about the lesser presidents, the kind of forgettable ones. I tried to remember some of them. I didn't come up with anything for Mallard Fillmore or anything, or Millard Fillmore. Mallard's a duck. I guess
I believe there's a comic.
That is a garbage pail kid.
There's a comic called Mallard Fillmore.
Or either that or it's a character on DuckTales maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Someone clearly thought of that one before.
Someone at DuckTales is writing jokes for the adults who are watching.
Right. It's I mean, the best I could do with any of those guys was like, which really isn't anything either, which is
Yeah.
just like, if it, like, there's like John Tyler, and no one really knows what John Tyler did. Like John Tyler's Sky Captain of Tomorrow.
Here's
You
something.
just have to make it fun.
Here's a John Tyler fact. He
You
has
know something about John
he
Tyler.
has 2 grandsons who are still alive.
What?
He had a son
He was
when
president in like 1812,
he had a son in his 80s, and that son had kids in his like 70s, 80s, and those kids are still alive.
Cannot be.
It is true. It's
That
true.
cannot be. Like
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me go to the because John Tyler's very. I've been to his grave. It's over. I used to live right around the block from the place where he's buried.
Is it next to a Cracker Barrel or something?
Hollywood Cemetery.
Or Arlington? Is he in Arlington? Isn't that where they bury? Don't they bury all the presidents in Arlington? I guess you live in Virginia. It makes sense. No. Arlington's there. He's not there. He's buried.
So
he's
March 6th,
parking lot.
March 6th, 2018, how 2 of President John Tyler's grandsons are still alive 174 years later.
What the fuck? Yeah. How is that? That's wild.
The one is 89, is one of 2 living grandsons of John Tyler.
3 years ago. May not be alive now, but like.
Yeah, just those 3 generations span almost the entire history of the United States.
But what if they both got COVID? Got wiped.
All right.
COVID. I was like, the ultimate bad thing of COVID is it just completely wiped out.
Oh, it's the Taylor family
bloodline.
All right, so James Monroe and John Tyler are both buried in Hollywood Cemetery here in Richmond, as is the only president of the Confederate States of America, Jefferson Davis.
Oh.
And it's weird. It's weird watching people like drive their pickup trucks to the Jefferson Davis thing and like take pictures with it, and it's a great cemetery.
Be open traders.
It's a great place to like walk through. It's like an amazing pastor. But like I say, no one ever walks into the cemetery to go to Jefferson Davis's grave. Those people all take their trucks or drive to it. It's just like,
of course, yeah,
it's difficult to motor there. Oh my God. If you visit, we'll go to Hollywood Cemetery. It's actually quite fascinating.
Oh, I'm sure it's wonderful. Yeah. I would want to do, I love doing stuff like that. Like there was a period that I went through like in the aughts, in the early aughts, I think definitely the early aughts, like the year 2000, like right at the where I was infatuated with the idea of busts. Like, you know how you can see like a bust of Mozart at a piano.
Yeah.
And the reason the thing that started it off is I had found this bottle of cologne at the Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bust of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, nice.
It was a golden bust of Abraham Lincoln that if you pricked the head off, it was cologne.
Had a spritzer.
And it was the worst. Yeah, and it was fucking horrible.
It smelled like big. Abraham Lincoln.
It was like the size of my head.
Yeah.
And like, it's like I had this Abe Lincoln cologne, but because I had that, like I just thought it was so funny because it fucking is. But then like I somehow like people started giving me busts of presidents, and I got Franklin Rose, I got FDR.
Mm-hmm.
I had I think I might have had clearly there was Reagan, because they made like you talk about like I think you talked about like Trump having a shit ton of merch. Reagan had a shit ton of merch.
Yeah.
Like Reagan was the first, he paved the way for Donald Trump's NFTs.
I got bad news. It turns out that people who bought those got ripped off.
Oh, you don't say.
I mean, what?
Well, at least the people that donated to his legal fund got their money's worth.
They got their money's worth. Speaking of busts, there's a place here in Virginia as well we could go where they basically have giant, like, bus-size busts of all the presidents from some sort of thing they were part of, and then the place that they were part of got taken down, and they just left the busts out in the
What are
field.
we gonna do with all these presidential
Just
busts?
plant them out in the field back here.
I love it. I love that stuff. Like, I don't know why I've been fat, because I think they're just the funniest thing.
Oh my
like,
God,
in the world.
I could take you to Foamhenge. It's a recreation of Stonehenge made out of styrofoam.
Stop it. You're just making me too wet.
Yeah.
I'm getting too excited over here. My panties are soaked. We need to dry this up here. I need some bounty paper towels.
I mean, we can go to Monticello, see Thomas Jefferson shit going on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Stop it right now. Oh.
Yeah. There you go. It's history. History, just breathe it in.
What about questions? Do you have a question?
I was about to say, do you want to go to our first question?
Let's go to our first question.
I don't want to cut you off because you were in a roll.
I feel like in a few episodes there, like we've been like kind of foregoing the questions for goofballs.
For goofballs.
And like, I don't think that's the wrong way to go, but like, I think maybe the pendulum needs to swing back a little bit. Like, we maybe went too far in one direction. We need to find the balance.
I think what you're saying is like people are coming to us for a certain thing. And yes, we want to spread that joy, and we want trans people to love themselves. And we want them to have fun, and let them know they can just be big old rock star goofballs like us. But also, why is there like a little thing in women's panties in the crotch that like looks like you'd tuck something in it? We're here to answer those questions. I've noticed that. I have no idea. What is this?
I know what it's for. It's pads. It's for pads.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for pads.
So you're not soaking wet. It's all just going into the pad.
I'm not wearing a pad.
Well, if you're gonna keep getting this
I'm not
wet,
even wearing
maybe you
underwear.
should.
It's just dripping on the floor like a faucet.
You're just nasty ass chair. Like, yeah. All right.
Just like leaving a trail like a banana slug.
Oh my God. All right. Let me look at what I've picked for. So we'll start with this one. And you tell me if you don't want to talk about it.
Okay, I will.
It's not necessarily like politics, but it's, transcendent.
But we go there.
And it annoys it's a thing that annoys the hell out of me. So why do people think we're erasing gay people? Why do they think we're erasing gay people and saying, apparently there's no such thing as a gay person anymore? Like these statements I usually see when people are including trans people. I don't get how they're connecting trans inclusive with erasing gay people. And yeah, I mean, it's a transphobic thing to just separate. I mean,
no, okay. Like, I think, we can definitely talk about this. I didn't understand that for a minute. I didn't know who they meant because the pronouns are that big. But now that I've thought about it,
we know who they are.
Well, I mean, kind of, yeah. But like,
and it's not they them.
Yeah, it's they. No, I mean, not yet. Not until they realize it. But like. But maybe like, I don't want to say anything like that. Like, that's definitely that's a turf thing, I think, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's like, it's like, oh, well, how can you have same-sex relationships if sex doesn't matter? It's like, well, why are you so? I mean, for me,
fuck are you talking about?
Why don't you just love whoever you love and not worry about what name you're putting on it and stuff? And to think, anyone who says that doesn't really care about gay people or trans people. And it's a trope. It's a trope as old as time. I mean, they used to say, like, if you let gay people marry, you're erasing traditional marriage. And, like, what the fuck is traditional marriage anyway?
It's the idea that, it's that old idea of, like, that you losing, when someone gets equal rights, or, like, even approaches it, that, like, your privilege somehow, your power over that subsect diminishes. Right. Therefore, that's being taken away from you in some way, and it's completely like false. It's like it's the same thing with like racists calling saying that it's racist to call you a racist when you behave in a racist way. Like it's the same thing, because it is, because they're bigots. Like that's why they can say that. I mean, the answer to this question is very simple. It's because those people are bigots. That's why. It's because they're
being
bigots
dishonest.
and they're wrong.
Yeah.
They're being dishonest. They don't. I'll even go so far as to say there's probably a good chunk of them that aren't being dishonest in the sense that they believe that.
Yeah.
But they're still wrong about it. Like they're wrong in every way wrong can wrong. I mean, they're like, yeah. I mean, wearing.
I guess if you legitimately
they're wearing Wrangler jeans.
Oh, good. I would say if they
wrong food. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Oh man, now we got you started.
We got some.
I would say if someone
BD wrongs.
All right, well, get it out of your system. Just get it out of your system. You ran out of wongs, didn't you?
I did. I ran out of
any rangs in there that you can?
I'm good, I think.
Are you sure?
No, I really am out of wrong puns.
Okay.
The wells run dry.
Okay. The wells wrong dry.
None of this is working at all.
I mean, I'm just trying to keep up, honestly. Like,
I
think you're mad that I did that. I think that I did that ray gun thing in 2 seconds.
That's keeping that awkward space right in.
I would say if anyone legitimately believes that if trans people exist, that gay people can exist, then you would really have to ask, like, if you're in a relationship, is it more important to you that you find someone you love or that you find someone that you can label as gay? That's
like, it's the most superficial nonsense. It's like, let's say someone did believe that. That's the same as like someone like, that's the same as some fucking Chad having a type. It's predatory. The whole thing's predatory. It's just like, it's like, so what does that mean then? So let's break down like the layers of how stupid this is.
Yeah.
So with like, let's say that concept was correct.
Yeah.
That like they were right. That like because of trans people existing, what that means is the fact that trans people exist means there's no such thing as gay anymore. So that means if you are gay, all of a sudden you're not gay, which is like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But let's say that was true, that now you're not gay because trans people exist somehow. Like that somehow makes that the case. And like, but now also like that you were so wrapped up in like the identity of being gay that's somehow a tragedy. Like I just don't understand like how like it doesn't make any sense on any level. Like so it's because essentially what that comes across as to me is that the people that are taking that position are literally like just doing it for some sort of like badge that they can wear. Like they're not even gay, they're gay for sport. Like what does that mean? Like it's like it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's like you said, it's like the love who you want thing is what it's really about. And like so if you're like, oh no, like this is like I can only date this person, or like I'm like anyone that I would consider is inside of this very small box. It's like I don't understand what the point of that is.
I'm going to take it one step further, and it's going to blow your mind, and it's going to be the thing you can say to anyone who comes at you with this, because what they're clearly trying to do is place one minority group, gay people, against another minority, trans people. But if it is true that trans people existing change sexuality so much that gay people do not exist, then it just follows that also straight people do not exist.
Yep.
And we all know that none of that is true, just on the pure stupidity of the idea that if trans people exist, somehow all other sexualities don't exist. When in the fact of the matter is,
I almost feel like that is true. Like ultimately, if you go down the rabbit hole long enough, like the idea of like,
I mean, yes, in a good way.
I think it actually is true. Like it's like, but it's not trans people that did it. It's just like It's just like ultimately, I don't think there is such a thing
I
as
mean, the thing
anyone
is,
that's
like,
100% gay or
well,
100% straight. Like, I don't think it's a
I think
real thing.
it's less of that, and it's more like, do you want to be able to carry around this badge that you're straight or gay, or you just want to have the
Except for
opportunity to,
Lindsey
like,
Graham, 100% straight, that guy.
absolutely straight, or do you want to just meet someone that you like and fall in love with them and have your life with them? That's really what's important to me. And
Yeah.
if you want to be straight, or heaven forbid super straight, if you want, you're fine, go do that. And if you are gay, like me existing as a trans person doesn't mean you can't call yourself gay. It doesn't change that. I would say anyone who's talking in absolutes like that, where something is erased, or like, our friend of the show J.K. Rowling talking about how trans women erase women, and it's just like that. You can't. These arguments come out where they just say, let me finish. Let me finish. They just say something without any proof or explanation of how it happens. Just like, if gay people are allowed to be married, then traditional marriage will be destroyed. And you say, how? And they're just like, it is. And he's like, okay, that's not really a reason, you're making stuff up. And they go, if trans women exist, then cisgendered women don't exist. And you're like, how? And they're just like, oh, it just doesn't. It's like, well, that's not a reason. Anyone could say anything. I could say, like, oh my God, if electric cars exist, then dogs don't exist. They're like, how? It's like,
the combustion engine. If electric cars exist, then the combustion engine never ever was invented.
Yeah, if Domino's exists, then Pizza Hut doesn't exist. It just
the sun exists,
doesn't.
Then clearly the moon cannot exist.
Right? You get it. So, like, when people like, I think we've lost, like, we live in such a world where people have lost the idea of how to, like, rationalize
peanut butter. Then there's not regular butter. Then it's erasing regular butter.
Wait, am I the only one who makes my grilled cheese sandwiches with peanut butter on the outside because there's no regular butter left?
You know what I did?
What did you do?
Off topic.
Yeah, obviously I could tell by the tone in your voice that we're going.
How excited I got!
Yeah.
I made grilled cheese with rendered bacon fat, and it's the best fucking move ever.
I made homemade bacon jam and made grilled chease with it.
Oh,
so good. Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that's really good. But yeah, I think we've gotten to the point where
if bacon jam exists, then jam bands don't exist.
We could only wish. Jesus.
The TERFs, maybe the TERFs are onto something here.
Can I just take
the string incident?
Can I just drop some acid without someone throwing on, some fucking jam band and ruining the experience?
This live fish jam, they play a song for 42 minutes. It's fucking wild.
If you just listen to some of the, thought leaders on the right, and let's take like a Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro just says something is true when it's not true, or saying that this is going to happen. They say that all the time. It's like there's a thing called evidence and facts. And I know we live in a post-evidence society. Like someone saw a tweet and watched a YouTube video, and now they don't take cold medicine when they're sick and their kids die, and they're just like, oh, I don't know what happened. No one cares about evidence. And so if you care about evidence, you can try to have a conversation with this person, be like, okay, you say that if trans people exist, gay people no longer exist. Tell me how that happens. And then they can't tell you, and they'll probably just shake their head and be like, you don't get it. You don't want to learn. And it's like, I'm just asking you to explain this to me. And so, like, yeah, I would say if you listen to any of those kind of thought leaders, I should do the thought leaders if you're listening. I just put air quotes, because like you just listen to them, you're like, oh, you're not presenting any facts. But then people who agree with them be like, oh yeah, Ben Shapiro really nailed that one on the head. You talk about, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like he just talked until it didn't make any sense.
The idea that anyone could take Ben Shapiro seriously is mind-boggling.
It's a crazy fucking world.
Twerp.
It's a crazy world.
He's like a little fucking chipmunk. He's a little racist chipmunk. He run around.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of shit that makes you really believe
creating his little his labyrinth of let's says.
Yeah, and then let's say this.
let's say this, and he just like spins
Oh
you
yeah,
around
oh
in a
yeah,
circle.
oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah, oh yeah, no, I see it, oh yeah, oh yeah, gay people don't exist anymore. Oh yeah, I see it, I see it.
That's what happens. That's our whole point. That's the
Yeah,
trans agenda. Like we're gonna erase gay people. And that's because what we really are is we're an arm of the right wing because they want to erase gay
they want
people.
to
They
erase
want
gay
it so gay
people.
people don't exist. So they invented us to come and destroy gay people. Because it's weird because like I've never met a trans person that was gay.
No,
It's
they're
just like
all,
oil and water. It's
they're
just like
all, they're
burn
all,
doesn't work.
they're all pansexual. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Trans people are the end of capitalism for sure. And I've said this before. If I can just go out and find what makes me happy and live a life according to my internal feelings and make myself the person I am today, anyone can do that. They don't have to be you don't have to be trans to live the best life you want. You don't have to be gay to live the best life you want to be. All you have to do is stop going to your shitty job every day and finding out what makes you happy and do that. And I know there are no not there are no cis people listening to take this advice, but that's the thing. If trans people against all odds can just chart their course and go do what they want and find happiness, you have no excuse for it either. So you can go do that, and everyone can. You can. I've quit my jobs without having a backup job plenty of times in my life. I quit my job and gave up health insurance like 2 weeks before the state closed down for the pandemic. Was it the smartest move? No, but I did it. And I started my transition and I'm doing all these things. And the world doesn't want me to, but I'm doing it anyway because I want to be happy. And if you're miserable and you're cis, it's just like you could do the same thing. And as soon as everyone realizes, like, oh shit, I don't have to live by these rules because, church leaders and political leaders and business leaders say that's what I have to do, then the whole fucking system falls apart and we can all go fish and dance and do whatever we want with our days and live in a
Get eaten by
cabin. Yeah,
lions.
yeah, get eaten by lions. What? Oh, what
Like it wasn't
politics?
all like it wasn't all fun and games.
Well, no, I mean we're gonna
Like
lose some
history's pretty
people.
fucking bad.
We're gonna lose some people to the lions. I get that, but those of us who survive the lion
Hopefully
attacks
Christians.
will be
Let's get
happy.
Roman.
Yeah. Fuck, how many Floridians are we going to lose to crocodile attacks? I don't know, but we're going to lose some. But that's the
The
payoff.
gator or the drug.
All of them. All of them, man. It's the wild, wild west. You're free to do whatever you want. But that's the thing, is just like, if you want to talk about if you say erasing gay people, meaning that a man can't find another man that he loves and has a relationship with, no, that's not going to happen. If it means that we stop using terms like gay and straight and we just identify with who we are and who we love and we move forward from there, who cares? Like, are you that attached to labels that's what you
And
want?
they might be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, but the thing is like even arguing about it one way or the other is in and of itself like giving them way too much credit because they're not coming from a place that's honest. They're not coming from a place of good faith. They're not coming from a position that like is there to like enlighten you with this idea. They're literally
you've got insight.
yeah, they're
I would
literally
say
just being bigots.
most of the time I see questions like this, like, what do you say to someone who says this? I'm like, I don't say any of those people.
Yeah, I don't talk to those people.
They're not looking to learn. They're not looking to become enlightened or learn about me. They're just looking to make my life miserable and tie me up at a party for like an hour and a half while they move the goalpost further and further away. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got no interest in spending any time or energy like having conversation. I see stuff like that all the time. I get every now and then I'll get roped into like a Facebook group because I see a good meme that has something to do with something like that, where it's like it's like conservatives threatening us with a good time or something like that, where it's making fun of like right wingers or bigots or whatever. But in the end, like I'll do that and I'll be like, oh, this seems kind of funny. And then I'll sign up for it and then I'll just get bombarded with all this stuff from there. And then I realize it's like, I don't want to see that, like all that right wing garbage.
Yeah, I don't want to see
it's
that
garbage.
either.
And so I have to immediately like shut it off. But like, that's the thing is like there's a certain like, this ties into stuff we've talked about before about like you gotta you kind of got to get your head, like, you got to figure out what your tolerances are and what you want your life to be, because like the world's the world, and it's been a rough place since the beginning of time, and it continues to be rough, and it's peaks and valleys,
The lines
good
don't
times.
help. The lines don't help at all.
No, but like, I mean, but you know, but the thing is like you can spend your time like getting worked up and like angry and like fighting with these people, like and these people that are like shouting and screaming and like, oh, trans people are erasing gay people, whatever fucking stupid fucking thing
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle or Ricky Gervais says, that's fucking stupid. Like you could get worked up about those things, or you could choose not to even acknowledge it and like just leave them in their stupid place and like let them fester in their own disease, like,
right.
because that's what it is. It's dirt, it's disease, it's grime. Like,
Well,
there's no reason, you get nothing out of it, and you can't win an argument because they're not arguing in good faith. Like, so like you're never going to get anything out of it except for anger and frustration and
yeah.
bad feelings, because that's all bigotry is.
And
It's just hate.
there's no end where you end up with anything but that. You're
Yeah.
not going to have that conversation. That person's going to go, "Oh, ping. Oh, I see it
Yeah.
now." It's just like someone's like, "How do you answer when someone asks you like, how do you define a woman?" You know, that's how there's your answer right there. I don't have to. I
Yeah.
don't owe you an explanation. I'm sad that you don't know, or that you feel like there's some sort of gatekeeping, or that you know. It's just like, you know what I am, and you know that's where I'm at. But you don't owe anyone an answer for anything, especially like I said, when they come at you and you're like, oh, you're spewing conservative talking points. So you don't have to have that conversation. But I feel like if trans people are racing anything when it comes to gender and sexuality, I don't see how it's not for the better. I don't.
That's where I'm at with
If
it
you,
too. It's like
are you
anything
telling
that's
that
being erased is things that
if
could stand
if
to
you're a
get
woman, are you telling
be
me
gone.
gender roles have served you, in any
Yeah,
way?
hey?
No. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, no, according to gender roles, like a man can work in an office as an advertising agent and a woman can't. And it's like, that's not true at all, you know?
Yeah.
None of that is true. And so, you don't owe anyone that.
I mean, that's the thing, is that whole like that turf talking point is so funny, because it's like they claim to be feminists, and then they come off with this racist bigot nonsense, and like they're just like, it's like, well, it's like you're taking away like my my role, like my identity as a woman. It's like, well, so does you getting rights. Like, you being able to legally wear pants, doesn't that take away your identity? Like,
Yeah.
it's like you're just, they're just so ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't vote. I don't wear shoes when I'm in the kitchen. I'm always pregnant. That is my definition of a woman. It's like, okay, Ted Cruz. And I only say that because I know that's exactly what was going through Ted's mind. And that's Ted's first contribution to the podcast. He's like, women are barefoot, they're pregnant, and they don't vote. And that is the definition of woman. And if you're not doing that, then you're not living up to the definition of woman as put out there by the founding fathers.
Can I change the subject in a related way?
Are we going to talk about Ted Cruz?
No, we're gonna talk about having bare feet.
Oh my God, I love being barefoot.
I love being barefoot too. It's so good. And
I
it's a
hate wearing
thing that
shoes.
like I didn't realize. Like, and so I never pre-transition, like I never walked around without shoes on because it hurt.
Yeah,
Like, it's like like walking around, it's like I would see people do it, like women usually, and like it was just like it was just like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you walk around like, because like I tried and it's like, no, it hurts my feet. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I need shoes on. And like, and then like I started transitioning, and like I just, it just happened. Like, I didn't even think about it. Like,
yeah,
I was just like, I just found myself being barefoot on a lot more regularly.
yeah.
And one day I noticed, and I was just like, I'm barefoot and it doesn't hurt. Like, what's the deal? Like, it's like, like, what's the deal? And then I like mentioned it like kind of casually like that to someone else, that was like further along in their transition. Like, oh yeah, like higher pain threshold. Like, I
Yeah.
was just like, I didn't even ever make
Well,
that
now,
connection,
now
because it's like
let's
one of those things that you don't think about.
let's take a look at Ted's definition of woman then. So if you're barefoot, and you don't vote, you're 2/3 of a way to you're a woman in his book. You're 67% there.
Why are we bringing Ted Cruz into my barefooted joy?
When I
My
when I
hippie
started
happy.
when I started doing I do a camp down in
You're harshing my mellow.
because Ted Cruz got us talking about being barefoot. So Ted Cruz is part of this conversation. Anyway, the first time I really did it, I was doing a camp down in Alabama, and it was on this farm. And I got there on like Saturday, like super early, and I kicked off my shoes and my socks, and I did not put them on until I drove home the following Saturday.
That's
And
fucking beautiful.
every time I go down there, it's like, they're not in any city, so it's in the south, yes it's hot, but it's like farmland, so it's got like, it doesn't have that oppressive heat of a city, so it'll be like 92, but you can do it and just like not wear shoes or socks all
sounds
week.
wonderful.
So amazing.
I love it. I love walking around, and it's like it makes me so happy, like I never could before.
Yeah.
It's like now my feet are just filthy.
Oh yeah, that is the downside. You just like one day you're just like, oh my god, I better wash these things.
Black.
I better wash these off.
Terrible. I gotta shave these off with my foot skin razor that I have.
I go to pedicure, and they do like the whole thing where they shave it off, and they're just
they
like,
give it the landlord special.
They're like, oh, you're here for your pedicure, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, look at these gnarled beasties. I'm walking around without shoes on for a month.
All right. Well, I feel like we answered that question.
I feel like we did. I feel like I empower all the trans babies out there to not answer any questions that you don't want to, and not
don't
engage.
Bother.
You don't owe them anyone.
Don't even engage with those people. That's my advice to you. It's just like, the answer to that is, you're gross. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. You owe yourself your own happiness.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the podcast forever. I mean, I couldn't tell you anything else.
Yeah, that's it. With that, we're done.
We're done. Join us for our new
sail off off the edge of the earth.
Join us for our new podcast next week. Something else with Ted Cruz. I don't know what. Man, usually I try to flesh in a happy one with a not so happy one, but there are a lot of sad ones, a lot of deep thinkers this time. So
you want to go deep? I don't mind going deep and help in a little bit, because there is some sadness. But before we do, I mean, what about Richard Milhouse's Vixen, like femme fatale? Like, is that anything?
I like that. I was thinking about Richard Nixon, and he's like killing people, like Nix.
Richard Nixon. Like Nixon, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. What about Gerald
Spanking
Fjord?
Delano Roosevelt?
Gerald Fjord, and he's like a fjord with Gerald Ford's face in it.
Oh, like a fjord's like a hole, though.
Is it? I thought it was just like a river.
I think it's like a river through a cavern. Like a fjord is like, I think it's like.
Look it up. A long, narrow, deep inlet of the sea between high cliffs.
Yeah. So I guess
he'd have his picture would be in the mountain or something.
Well, what you could have is like a picture of a fjord, and then have Gerald's face like kind of like with low opacity hovering in front of it, maybe. Are we talking of more like a Return to Oz type thing? His face is in the rock.
I mean, it's all go. What about James Garfield? And it's just like Garfield, and then like we're already inviting Ted Cruz to sue us. Let's have Jim Davis sue us
Garfield.
too. Yeah, James Garfield. He hates Mondays. He loves lasagna.
We don't change a thing. He just hates Mondays.
Loves lasagna, hates Mondays. James Garfield for life.
Well, this little joke had a lot more legs than I thought it would.
It did.
It's a real human centipede.
Hey, you got a real human centipede on your hand there, my friend.
It's my goal in life is to make that a pejorative. Not really. So, like, if I didn't achieve that goal, I wouldn't feel bad.
Here we go. Here's one just says, I just had my best encounter in the store and I'm about to cry. And it's not really a question, but let's talk about it. We can
Let's talk
talk.
about
And
the
then you and
best
I,
encounter in the store.
yeah,
Yeah. Let's
yeah.
talk about a happy, bright, sunshiny day.
Yeah, I've never messed with makeup much, aside from lipstick and fingernail polish. But my beard shadow is getting more and more frustrating and depressing. I don't really have the confidence to dress as myself yet. At best, my style is androgynous, but my appearance is getting harder to mask. Anyway, I was looking at different foundations and concealers trying to figure it out when another customer I didn't know, probably about as old as my mom, told me I had great skin and helped me pick out a concealer. She also told me how to
Aw.
apply it and which powder to use to touch it up and where to find the cotton pads to apply it all. I told her thank you, but I couldn't express just how much that meant to me and I really wanted to cry. I didn't expect a complete stranger to be so helpful. She didn't ask any questions or stare at me, just helped me figure it all out. It was a little gesture that took only 2 minutes of her time, but it absolutely made my day. And by the way, my beard shadow is completely gone.
Oh, hooray!
Yay!
Oh, that's so good.
I think
I
one thing to
was
remember
a,
is that like the people who are the loudest and the biggest assholes get a lot of attention,
but
but
they're not
for
most
the
people.
they're not most people. Most people
Most
are,
people are good.
and if they have anything with trans people, they just don't know. They don't know a trans person. They don't know much
Yeah.
about being trans.
They're a little nervous, or they're a little scared, or they're a little like probably even curious more than anything else. But like I the vast majority of people that I've dealt with, like in all places, like are just
Yeah,
cool. Like, and
most
like,
people are nice.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And it's like it's little stuff like that. Like it's a thing, I can't I was I had been buying makeup, even presenting male,
Hmm.
because musician.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I well also trans, but like also like I'd been wearing makeup since I was a teenager, and like
yeah,
I never wore it a lot. Like I did not like this.
yeah.
I didn't wear feminizing makeup a lot. But I wore lipstick, and I wore like eyeliner, and like and mascara. But like I mean, in very sparse amounts and on sparse occasions. But I would have to buy it. And so when I did, I would go into the store, presenting fully male, and like it was never a thing. And like it was weird. It kind of scared me at first.
Hmm.
Like the first couple of times I did it, I felt a little out of place. But like it didn't take long for me because I just psyched myself right out of it. So like I didn't really have anything that can relate to like that directly, but like I
Hmm.
mean I can sure relate to the beard thing, because like even though I've had several electrolysis appointments, and I've also had like several laser things, like you don't see it. The reason you don't see it is because I wear a fuck ton of concealer, and I have to every day. Like I don't let myself leave the house. Well, that's not true. I have been like kind of letting that go and going out without makeup and stuff.
Hmm.
But like I can't do that on a day I don't shave. Like it's one or the other. It's like
Yeah,
it's like if I don't shave that day, like I can't
yeah,
go out. Like I can't. Like it's like I have to shave before I go out because I'm super self-conscious about it.
yeah.
And it's less, yeah, and it's less about like, and if I shave, you can still see it,
Hmm.
but also people aren't looking for it.
Yeah,
Like, and that's like one of the things that like if we're talking about it, like I don't know if this is even, I don't feel like it's off topic, but it might be skewed a little bit. But like I mean, on the thing of like because I think I don't know, we've talked here and there about like passing and stuff, and
hmm,
and reiterating again that like it's not like you don't have to, and it's totally up to you. Like and not everybody has that goal. Not everybody wants to pass, but I think a lot of trans people do, and I definitely do. And I I think I've had good luck with it. Like I
hmm.
don't know. Like that's the thing is like I don't have any perspective. Like it's like I feel like I pass, and but mostly the reason isn't because like I it's because of the way I'm treated in the world. But every now and then it's like I do that gets missed. It's like I still get misgendered once in a while, like here and
Yeah.
there, which I think is a little weird because I think I do pass. So it's kind of weird if someone would like look at me and say sir. It's like really. Are you getting that? at this stage, but but you never know with people. And it used to bother me a lot more than it does. It doesn't bother me anymore. Now I just kind of look at them weird. I think less of them more than anything else. And at this point, I'm not really, but I still do have to wear a fuck ton of concealer, and that is the thing. And so I've kind of almost universally shifted all my makeup to high-end stuff. I almost never buy cheap makeup anymore.
Yeah.
The exception being concealer, because I go through so fucking much of it.
I burned through it.
Yeah, and I found a concealer that really works for me, and that's a drugstore concealer, and I can get it anywhere. And so and so I buy it basically the shade. When I see the shade that I need in there, I use 3 different shades.
Good Lord.
I do. So I use one shade for I kind of, because I use concealer as kind of eyeshadow primer. And I use a very light shade for over my eyelids before I don't do that every day. I do that sometimes when I'm doing a certain makeup look. But then I use a lighter shade under my eyes and around my eyes, and then I use a darker shade down here, because it's just the way my skin tone works. And I found that works well for me. A lot of trial and error. That's the thing. It's it's not easy.
Yeah.
What do you got to say about stuff, Lilith?
I mean, like I said, I think the main thing is to realize that as loud as the worst people are, most people are not the worst people, and you should always be aware of your surroundings and be as safe as you can. But also, more people are out there who are going to be kind than not, and the people who are not kind are also cowards. So, they're most likely, unless there's a group of them, they're probably not going to say much or do anything. And I let people talk. When it comes to for me, I've been doing I went all in on getting this. I did laser, and the laser worked amazing, except I had so much gray hair on my face that I still had a ton to get rid of. But honestly, today I shaved before we did this. I had not shaved in a week, and you can see I'm only a couple months from maybe being done with electrolysis, but one pass and my skin is super smooth. Usually I'd have to shave over 3 or 4 times if I wanted to be super smooth.
Yeah, it's I'm meticulous about it. It takes me 20 minutes to shave.
I can imagine
going over. I'm just destroying my face.
And that's the other thing. Yeah, and then your skin is all razor burnt and stuff.
Oh God.
But yeah,
I hate it so fucking much. I've always hated it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But the other nice thing is
I'm trans.
Yeah, of course. The other nice thing is the other nice thing is, if you have a good, if you're doing electrolysis, that person's probably an esthetician, and that's been great for my skin. Talking to someone who's an expert, and I cheat a little on the Zoom calls here by having the thing where they can make everything nice.
On TV, we use filters. Yeah,
we use filters.
There's all sorts of movie magic here.
Yeah,
I don't know if I gotta let you in on break down that fourth wall. This isn't really my yard.
What? Wait, you're telling me that I haul all my equipment out to this Dell and do this live from a flower bed in the middle of Ireland, and you're just using a backdrop? Unbelievable.
I know, it's a photograph. Well, I painted it myself.
Okay, well, as long as you painted it yourself, then we're fine. But I'm gonna do this from
this shit.
I'm gonna do this from my garage like I always do in the future. Then, instead of going all the way out here to the field and stuff. It was worse. It was worse in the winter when I was just sitting out in front of that snowy
was
shack.
Rough.
That was hard.
How you dealt with it.
I mean,
so bad.
Trans power. But I feel especially when you're talking about stores and stuff. I think the best thing is to if someone's kind, appreciate that moment. And if someone's not, just realizing that if people treat you some way, that's a problem on their end. There's nothing wrong with you.
Exactly.
You don't deserve to be treated a certain way because you're trans. That person has their own issues with
Don't let that garbage
people.
get
Yeah.
Let the trash be trash. One thing I'll say adjacent to this and along with this is I think, because I think there probably are people that are listening or watching
Yeah.
that aren't trans. I don't think it's just trans people that watch this.
Really?
And for those of you that are allies that are watching this, like you probably already know this, but I don't think you probably understand the scope of it. But for trans people, like trans women especially, I can't speak too much to trans men because I don't know the experience, but like for trans women, like the smallest gesture like that means so much. Like the littlest smallest bit of inclusivity like is so big, especially for someone who's just starting out, who's in
Yeah.
their first year, like and is probably visibly trans. Like it's like if you can, if you have it in you to just like do that, like the amount of effort it takes on your part, the payoff is so
Yeah.
huge. Like it's just like, and it's just I you don't have to, you know, don't go out of your way and be a person like, I'm gonna look for a trans person and make her day. Don't do that. Like but like that can get
Yeah.
weird and gross too.
I
But like really, yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, to tag onto this, a nice part about this story is that the person just didn't say anything about it. You can just,
That's key.
you don't know if they're trans, but say you see someone and you help them. You don't have to, tell them about how your cousin is trans or ask them if they like the bird cage. But yeah, so, like I think we've talked about this before. Like, obviously, whether people want to pass or not, we don't want to talk all the time about how we're trans. We don't want to like have that conversation with some stranger in public. I help people all the time without, bringing up anything that I notice about them. Just like, it's like help someone in a store and be like, I just noticed you're like 5'5". Can we talk about that? It's like we don't have to have those kind of conversations.
Yeah.
Just like be nice. And that goes out
It's
to
like
all our
don't ever
listeners.
say anything to a tall girl. Like wow, you're
One
tall.
thing,
Yeah, she
if
knows.
you want to ask me to step on you, I will step on you.
That's a whole different game.
That's a whole different thing. But yeah, feel free steps. But yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb for all of our listeners, cis or trans or whatever, is just be nice to people.
Exactly. A
Be
little
nice
goes a
people.
long way.
Yeah, don't step on them unless they ask you first.
The world's what you make it, love.
You guys, thanks for listening to our show this week.
It's been good.
I don't know if you guys know, like we have like a maybe like 45 minutes to an hour of conversation before that's recorded before we start with the show, and it's just like, man, we just came out hot today, and like I felt like we came in and got to the show part, and it was nice, and we were a little angry for that first half, and kind of got a little riled up in the feathers, and then this, I feel like it's so beautiful. Like, share your fun stories, like
That matches our scenery.
Yeah. Like send us an email, girldickwithted@gmail.com, and tell us
Even
what
if you're just a conservative man worried about Senator Cruz.
I can imagine how worried you are. Yeah. But I would also say, like if you want to share a story you had, a good interaction with someone that surprised you, let us know.
I feel bad. Sean, if you're listening, if you're watching, thank you for your concern. And I hope that you found Ted and everything worked out for you too. That's great. Thanks for writing.
I mean, he could tell in our voice that we're worried that Ted's never here.
I worried isn't the word I would choose.
Really?
I'm not worried. I feel like Ted's gonna Ted. He's gonna Ted. Ted's gonna Ted.
If you guys are familiar with Zoom, like, so I keep this open and I have, our two videos, but then I always keep the participants open just in case, like, Ted Cruz has joined and needs to be admitted, just in case somehow he got the link to the podcast and wanted to join in. I can let him right in with his Wolverine beard and his sad eyes and his breath that probably smells like beef jerky.
I guarantee his breath. I guarantee you he's got halitosis. Guaranteed. Absolutely. I guarantee. Like, I don't know, but like, I don't know. I got that gut feeling that like, yes, Ted Cruz has the worst breath you've ever smelled.
He's constantly like putting Altoids and stuff and the Altoids just kind of like dissipate into a mist when
Maybe
they touch his
not.
tongue.
Maybe he smells like a summer's day. Like, what do I know? I mean, he's rich. Like, he probably smells like money.
Someone else's money. Someone else's dirty, dirty money.
Everyone's money is someone else's money.
I'd step on Ted Cruz if he asked me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Y'all are
Good night,
beautiful.
y'alls.
Thank you.
Oh, wait,
all.
you know what?
Yeah.
What do people need to do?
They need to email us at
And
girldickwithed@gmail.com.
you need to watch us on YouTube if you're listening. We're on YouTube, and you need to like and subscribe. Is that it?
Like and subscribe. Ring the little
Don't
bell.
forget to like and subscribe. We almost forgot to say like and subscribe.
Oh my gosh. Click like and subscribe for updates. And
How could
also, how weird was it? We just had like an episode that like maybe like 3 or 4 people watch each episode, and then we have one episode on YouTube that like 130 people watched, or at least 130 views. I hope it's not like one person just watching it on loop.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? We've had. I mean, we don't have like super huge numbers, but we're like in the hundreds per episode.
No. There's one episode that's way over 100, and then the rest are all around the
Every
same.
episode's way over 100.
Really? I don't think so.
Honey, look at it.
Let me go to YouTube real quick.
Oh, YouTube. No one watches YouTube.
Yeah, I'm talking about watching. I'm talking watch. I'm saying watch.
They don't watch us.
I'm saying watch versus listen. I know people listen.
We have what, over 100?
One, but like all of them are like da da da, and then one of them is like 120, and then the rest are all down to like 3 or 4 or 5. It's
I
weird.
had no idea. Yeah,
but no one's commented. Maybe it's Sean. Maybe Sean is rewatching that episode to look for clues to where Ted is.
Looking for Ted. He's
Looking
just
for
trying
Ted.
to, like, zooming in. Is that him?
That might be a great thing to do this summer. What if we get to
Where's Waldo kind of thing?
Here's the
except
thing.
for it's Ted Cruz.
If we get to 2,000 listeners in like a 30-day period, we'll do like a Ted Cruz scavenger hunt nationwide, and we'll just like
find Ted Cruz.
We'll hide things from Ted Cruz, like a Ziploc bag full of his beard hair and like his tin of Altoids. We'll hide them across the country, and then if you find them, you win a prize. Unfortunately, that prize is meeting Ted Cruz, so good luck with that.
It's like, I don't know. We have to discuss this. We have to talk about this in a meeting.
I hate meetings. Come on, let's just do it. The Ted Cruz scavenger hunt.
Oh, sounds like a lot of work. Like and subscribe, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Y'all are beautiful. I'm Lily Zarling. That's Amanda
Listening
Bonanza.
and watching.
Ted Cruz is not here again. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.